You're good.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
I am glad to see the faces that we got on here. We got a lot of people who are ready for this, and I am ready to teach you some things and build some $5 tech. And this is really going to be $5 tech. So these are all things you can buy either online, in the store, in like the dollar section or the 99-cent section. But we're going to make it into something that you guys can use or have access to whenever you want. So I got a few materials, and what I'm going to do, or what we're going to do today, is we're going to create something that you can use to kind of connect to or keep on your wrist at all times. So if you look at your camera, I'm putting different materials in the way. I have different fabric samples that I took from an old shirt, and it's because I like the shirt. I just can't wear it anymore because I've gotten older. But I decided to save the material from it. So there's that. So some of you should have some type of material, cloth or something. It can be anything. That's that. I'll put that over here. I got my best friend here. This is the handyman secret weapon, duct tape. And we're gonna use this duct tape to kind of help us out a little bit. I always have a lot of it, but this is my duct tape here. Over here, I got tons of little devices, and a couple of them are, well, 4 of them are my USB devices, and those can be used for just about anything to store things. I also have this really cool camera shutter, and I like taking pictures a lot, and I like recording videos a lot. So one of the things I have the biggest problem of is whenever I try to stop a video or start it or take a picture of myself, I'm always pressing the camera like that, and it looks really goofy. So this helps me not to do that. But I thought about it, and when I was thinking about this project originally, I wanted to do something with a Bluetooth fidget spinner. So they sell those in the stores. Some of you guys have those, and we're gonna use those today if you have them. But for those of you who may not have them, we can make this band for anything. And I'm gonna suit it for this. Because again, when you're making videos, especially when you're doing, virtual classes and things, it's really good just to have something like this ready for you. And over here, I got, that's another one. This is for my Vex device when I like to build robots and things, so I can have that available and with me at all times. I got my cutter here and some scissors for some other things. And last but not least, tacky glue. Tacky glue or craft glue, it dries really fast. You don't need a whole lot of it, and you don't have to worry about it drying in that white milky color that glue dries in sometimes. It'll actually dry clear. And it actually holds your stuff together, so it kind of gives it a extra layer of protection. So got that. And with that being said, you're gonna see my hand move across this second camera with the name on it. But with all that said, we're gonna get started. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Now here's the thing: you can keep your videos on mute if you like, but if you have any questions, please raise a hand. You can use your reactions to thumbs up if you have a question or if you have a comment, and I'll try my best. See, I got a question. And you can also use the chat. So I got my chat window wide open so I can see what you guys are saying. And you can send me a message and I can stop what I'm doing just to give you a chance to do some stuff or to ask what you need, to ask what you need. All right, so the very first thing we're gonna do is we're going to get our material. I'm taking my cloth and I'm going to cut my cloth to kind of match my wrist. So I already have my wristwatch here, and what I'm going to do is I can use that as kind of a guide for it. So make it really easy. I know I just need enough to fit this guide or to fit my wrist. Your wrist might be, or 9 times out of 10, your wrist is going to be a lot smaller than mine. But what you want to do is make sure that you're making your cut for your claw just right for your wrist. And you want just enough and a little bit more, just so if anything happens and you realize it's too big, you can snip off what you don't need. So let's do that now. I got my watch here. I'm going to disconnect it here. I got an Apple Watch, so it's easy to make that disconnection, but you don't need that. You can use any device that you have or anything that fits around your wrist. But I just want this part so I can see if it's long enough for my arm. So I'm using this as my measuring device. Again, this is $5 craft, so I don't expect you to have all the measuring tools to get this thing going. Just like that. Took that off. I'm going to put it here. As you can see, I don't need a lot of this cloth, but I'm still going to cut just a little bit of extra so I'll be okay. And the way I'm going to do that, with my cloth spread out like this, I'm going to fold it over twice, because we're going to need as much as we can get to create the band that we're trying to make. Here we go. And how you do this, you can, like I said, you don't necessarily need your ruler or a measuring tape for this, but if you got one, please, you're free to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and make that cut. I know the end of my wristband is here. I'm going to take my finger, put it right at the very end, and where my finger ends, that's begin my cut. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to just make a little indentation right beyond my finger, very carefully. And when you're using an X-Acto knife, you always make sure you bear down on a strong surface. You're not cutting it all the way with the X-Acto knife, just enough. So, again, right here.
I can't see what you're doing. We can't see what you're doing.
Let's see, I'm moving it towards the camera.
Okay.
Can you guys see my second camera?
No.
Let's see, you're gonna have to, let's see if we can move it around. Let's make sure I can see my second camera, because that will help.
Someone wanted to know, will a slap bracelet work?
A slap bracelet could work as a measuring device, but just because it has the bendable, it's very rigid. We don't want this to be too rigid. You want it to be flexible enough to fit around your arm carefully and without causing your device not to fit on. Again, you're trying to customize this to fit any device. So whether it's your Bluetooth fidget spinner, whether it's your watch, you want this thing to fit perfectly. Hold on. Now I see why it stopped. Give me a second. It kicked me out of the room on the second one. Try that again. So we're going to rejoin. That's going to probably ask for sound and all that. Give me a second. The invitation to rejoin should pop up. If not, I still got a front-facing camera that I can see you guys on. That's not gonna do it. No. All right. We'll do this with just the one. So right here, I got my cloth, and you can see where I made my indentation. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reopen it. Again, I got my wristband here. I'm gonna put my wristband into my cloth, and I'm just gonna fold it twice. So fold once, and then I'm gonna fold again. And that's just to make sure I have just enough room for that to fit. It's gonna fit kind of like a pocket. So everybody see that? And then I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna move that down here. And right where my finger is, that's where the end of it is. I'm gonna make an indentation or cut using my X-Acto knife. Not all the way, I just wanted enough so I'll know where I am going to cut with my scissors. So right there, right beyond my finger.
Oh, we did good now.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, I made that cut. I can get rid of my wristband or my whatever I'm using. I'm gonna put that away. Now I'm gonna move the camera back to me, and I'm gonna let you guys see where I'm cutting. So right here, I'm gonna use my scissors, and I'm just gonna cut across.
Can you please, Mr. Wilkerson, if you don't mind, if you can slow down just a tad.
Okay.
Someone they don't know where you are, so you might just have to stop and review. I don't know if she signed on late or what. But okay, but to answer you guys' questions, yes, once he's done, once I find a way to send the videos, then I will do that. But right now it's telling me that the videos are too long to send an email, and I got to figure out how to get it posted on YouTube so you guys will have access to it. But yes, to answer everyone's question, yes, you'll have the video for today and for yesterday.
Good. Let's see here. Try to make it easier so you guys can see everything in the best way. When you guys are all ready, give me a thumbs up or say yes in the chat, and that way I'll know that you guys are ready to keep going. There we go. And that makes it easier for me. I see some thumbs up. I see yes, yes, yes. And I'm back using the camera, so I'm not going to use the audio on this one. There we go. All right. I'm just hooking it up over here. I can see you and you can see me, and there we go. There we go. All right. Can you see that second camera? There we go. So now we're at the cutting stage. So we can start cutting our cloth. And if you're looking at me on the second camera with my name on it, you can see I've already made my incision. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm just gonna cut down the long end of the cloth. Just like that.
Oh, you know what, Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your second screen, we can see, but I see you. So the other screen that you have, I don't think you're sharing access to.
No, I can see it. It's just small. So if you mute this one and is the other one muted?
No, the one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get what she's saying. That's perfect. Hold on one second. All right.
That's giving feedback.
Yeah, because I didn't mute the other one yet. All right. So the main screen that you should be seeing me on. Hold on. I'm going to be making my cut. Can everybody see it now?
No. I
Mrs.
see you.
Nia,
Yes.
usually on here, like it's a thing where you could pin the screen so you could see it bigger. Is there
Okay.
any way like you could
Let me
maybe
go back to his other,
Yeah, if you click that one,
That's a double
that'll
press
be
the
the
screen
main.
that you want to
okay,
see.
this one right here. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Pin video. Is that better?
Because it will be on
I
your,
think that was on your screen, but all of on mine, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't pin the screen.
yeah, can you guys just click the second screen and it should always show that one or show that person speaking.
I think we have,
It don't work.
let me see if, because
Hold
I
on.
pinned
It's on the spot. Hold on. That's better. So now click that. There we go. So if you cancel the spotlight, there we are. That's perfect. So you should be able to see.
I didn't see it.
All right, good.
Layla, do you see anything?
It's working now.
Everybody sees what he's cutting?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So remember I said I had this thing? Use that to measure. I'm putting that away. I'm putting the watch away because I don't want it to mess up. And now we're going to the second phase. So depending on what you want to use in this, we're going to try to create a little pocket. But right now, we want to stick this together. So make sure, like I'm using this shirt. The cool thing with this shirt is, well, not the cool thing, but the thing about the shirt is, or most fabrics, is usually on the one side has the pattern. The other side is, you know, kind of a faded shadow of what you're looking for. So what you want to do, you want to fold it from the side that's on the inside. So you want the inside part of your fabric to be facing up. And we're going to start from the smaller end. We're just going to fold. And as we fold, I got my duct tape. I'm going to take a little piece of it. And the cool thing about duct tape is it rips pretty easily. So you can rip sideways. You can make the strips as small as you want. If that doesn't work, you can always cut it. But I'm just going to start folding. You got it here. That's one. Fold it again. It's going to be a little tough. And this is a stage where you can make your band as small, you know, as thin or as thick as you want it to be. I'm going to make mine a little bit thick. That's two. And now it shouldn't move as much. So now we're going to fold over.
King. King.
And over. And over. Once we get to this point, let me use another strip.
King.
And I might put one at this end, one over here, just to kind of keep things closed. And we're going to use this duct tape later for and the other steps of this. So we don't want to close this in all the way, just enough, because this is where we want to put our tacky glue. So the rule of glue is kind of simple, and it's something that you can use when you go back to school and you're using glue. So 1 drop of glue is enough. That's
Can't
it.
see
Hmm?
I can't see it. You have to pull, I see your glue, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 1 drop of glue is enough, and this glue it dries quickly. The best thing about it, it only needs about 20 seconds to dry on most things. So if you use it on paper, you hold it in place for about 20 seconds and it dries. Fabric may take a little longer, but all you want to do at this point is just get it to stick. So I'm going to stick it to, say I got this outer lip right here. I'm going to stick it to that outer lip. Now it's not going to look pretty yet. It's not going to look neat, because you're going to have to do a lot of cosmetic changes as we keep going. But I'm going to put 1 drop of glue here. And it's tacky glue, so it's super thick. So you're going to have to shake it. That's 1. That's 2. And 1 more over here. It's 3. Done. And make sure you clean the tip of the glue off, because it'll dry. And it's really yucky to pull off later. So just like that, I'm going to start folding it like it's a sandwich. Or you can fold it the other way. And just be very careful. And like I said, this step is not going to be pretty. And you're probably going to have to do it a couple times. But I'm going to stick to just this one spot in the middle. I'm going to hold it down for about 20 seconds. So you can count that in Mississippi's. You can use your stopwatch. But for about 20 seconds, hold it down. Watch the minute hand of your clock. And once that 20 seconds is up, if your hand didn't stick to it, it should stick. So I'm going to do that to the other end. I should have did it to the first end, but I didn't. But that's okay, because we're going to go back and make this look a little better. 20 seconds. And once again, you're going to have some openings in different spots. That's where you're going to go back and you're going to put some more tacky glue. So this is the part that takes a lot of time. But as you see, it's sticking.
Hold on, Mr. Wilkerson. What time is it? Okay. Can you guys see it now? Give me a thumbs up. Someone said it's out of camera. Can y'all see it now?
I could see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yes.
I have to do the project tomorrow because we're going.
Let's see.
That's fine.
If you can see it, thumbs up. If you can't, there it is. Now I can see it as I'm talking. So there it is. I'm just kind of going to go up and down here. But you can see it's rigid, but it's still flexible.
And what
like
is
I
it that
said,
you're making again?
We are making a wrist, we're making a wrist pocket or wristband for our wireless devices. So you guys see that? So in comparison to the original, check it out. We got a lot of room. I'm gonna move that down so you can kind of see the difference. We got a lot of room. And the reason being is, again, we want this. We don't want this. This is perfect for my wrist. And it'll be perfect, depending on the size of your wrist, whatever you're using to measure is going to be perfect for your wrist. You don't want that to start out with. There's a couple reasons why. if you ever buy a watch wristband, if you ever buy anything that you put on your wrist, you're always able to remove links to adjust it. Sometimes you're able to add different attachments to it to adjust it to the size of your wrist. You want this thing to be the same way. You're going to wear it on your wrist, but when you start out with it, you don't want it to fit your wrist exactly because, number one, you might have to cut parts off for some reason. Other thing is when you fit it to your wrist, when we're actually done with it.
Mr. Wilkerson, is it okay if you do a quick recap?
Yeah. All right.
Just a quick recap for those, because we did have some to just join in. I mean, you don't have to start all the way over.
No, I'm just going to just show
Yeah.
the materials real quick.
Okay.
So again, we're making a device that you can fit onto your wrist. A quick $5 technology piece here. And like I said, some of you guys have fidget spinners. Some of you guys have, you may have other devices you want to use because you couldn't find a fidget spinner. But all you need is your claw or your material, your fabric, tacky glue, tape, and whatever device you're going to use. And of course, you got scissors. So what I've done already, we have used something to create the shape of our device or the shape of our wristband. I'm using my Apple Watch band. So put that away. I took my fabric and I basically folded the fabric over and over.
Someone said they can't see what you're doing.
Okay.
I can see it. Can everyone else see?
I can see.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to make this I'm gonna slow down as much as I can. So I have my wristband here. I've already folded twice to start off with. As I folded the wristband, I put duct tape in between the first couple of folds, and that's just to make sure it doesn't lose its shape, and it also makes it easier to bend to the next fold that I want. Once I do that, and I make it to the very end, I might put a couple duct tape pieces there just to help it again to keep its shape. But then now we're at the stage to where we're adding the tacky glue. The tacky glue, it takes 20 seconds to dry. And that's if you only use one drop of it. Now in between these spots, you're gonna see that the fabric is still open. When we're starting, the only thing you wanna do is close up the most important parts. Beginning, the middle, and I haven't done the end yet, but we wanna make sure we do the end. And it already has the tacky glue that I put on there earlier. So it's dry right there, but that makes it easier to place it here. I'm not gonna put it right at the end. You see that? So if I put it here, I'm gonna run into a problem. I wanna cut this part so I can adjust. So I'm gonna put it right about here. And that way, if I have to make any adjustments as I go along, it's easy to chop this off. So it's gonna look kind of weird, but it's supposed to at this point. So just one drop or one dot, not a lot. And now, hold it, 20 seconds. It's gonna stick to your fingers because it's gonna bleed through the fabric. But just hold it down. It's giving me some finger exercises here. But once that's done, it should stick. And now it's easier to work with these folds because I just do the same thing. So one dot, One dot. It's a wider surface area. And now, same thing. Instead of one finger, just use two. Right there. And just press down on it as hard as you can. And once that's done, if it doesn't stick to your fingers automatically, it's where it needs to be. This is the point to where you guys are going to start making little cosmetic changes to it. So I got another spot.
Mr. Wilkerson, excuse me.
Yeah.
There is a question about what other devices could be used if you don't have a fidget spinner.
You can use a USB. You can use your ear pods. You can make it a wrist pocket for your ear pods. What I'm going to use this one for is for my camera shutter. Because right now, the best thing or one of the fun things you could do is it's just fun to take pictures right now of some of the things you're doing. Some people are recording videos on TikTok. And so these camera shutters work perfectly with TikTok.
Where do you purchase those from?
You can get these at Walmart, Target. You can go to Amazon and buy them. A lot of times they come with light rings. So I know a few people. Who has a light ring on here?
Have a what?
have a light ring?
A ring light.
So you can use your light ring to record videos or do really nice selfies. Some people use it to do their makeup. Or,
Oh, that light ring, that white circle thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
A ring light.
Ring light.
Ring light. USB, vanity ring. They have all types of names. But I use this one for most of the videos that I do in other places. And the cool thing is you can hold it in your hand. But to me, sometimes it'd be easier if I had it right here and I could just press. So I'm using what we're making right now for this. For other people, you can use it for an Apple Watch or any smartwatch. Most smartwatches, all you need are these parts if you really want to get intricate. But if you don't, you could create a smartwatch, a pocket for your smartwatch, and it would still work the same way. It just wouldn't have the biometrics. But it's just a few things you can use it for. And then so there's some examples of what you can use it for. But let's finish this one. And then, because I don't want to run out of time with you guys. Now that's sticking. Again, this is where I can make a lot of my cosmetic changes. You can still use tacky glue if you like, but if this is the part that sticks inside and you want to be really quick about it and you don't mind that it looks a certain way, use duct tape. So because I like duct tape, I'm going both ways with it. I'm just gonna take a little bit, and in the spots that are still open, I'm gonna fold them down. And the cool thing about duct tape versus other types of tapes, you can use double-sided tape, you can use Scotch tape, but the cool thing about duct tape already has a fabric component to it. So there's little cloth fibers inside the duct tape. You can probably see there's a little piece just hanging on. And please make sure you're muting your phones because it makes the camera focus to you. But duct tape already has tiny cloth fibers in it. So when it connects to, or when you attach it to things like cloth or things that are fabric based, it automatically works as a quick adhesive. so it sticks to it a lot easier. And it takes it when you pull it up, or if you try to pull it up, it's hard to do because it's already meshing with the fabric. So I'm using this. I'm gonna make some type of inside wrist design. You can also use it to make wallets if you get different colored duct tape. And they make duct tape with all types of different designs just for that purpose. I'm using basic old boring gray duct tape.
Can we pause for a minute to give everyone a chance to catch up?
Yep.
Everybody good? For those of you who are working with materials, if you can put a thumbs up on your screen so we can make sure that we're good. Everybody good? Following along okay? Okay. Do we need to slow down or are you all good?
And I see some people with, as I'm going through.
Someone wanted to know if you put duct tape inside the cloth.
Yes. So just when you're starting, make sure you're putting duct tape there to hold your place. Again, you can use any type of tape, but the reason I use duct tape is because duct tape it's already built for cloth. It's already built to stick to cloth more so than anything. Double-sided tape works fine, but double-sided tape, when attached to cloth, sometimes it detaches a lot easier. Duct tape, on the other hand, over time, it sticks a lot more. So as you stick it to it, you use this, and as you're even building this and you have the duct tape inside holding things in place, it's going to start to fuse with the fabric. So make sure, and this is the point, as you see, as I'm putting things down, I'm pressing it. That's gonna help it stick a lot more. As I drop my camera on my hand, as I'm rocking the table. There we go. All right. Everybody ready for the next part? Thumbs up or yes in the chat. I see lots of yeses. I see thumbs up. Very good. Thank you so much. So now I can start making my adjustments, and I can stop making it look so crude because right now it looks kind of janky. I don't want it to be janky. I want it to look nicer. So I have two ends of this that I can make adjustments to. So right here, we can do a couple things to get rid of that. We want it to attach, and we want it to wrap around our wrist. So this is the point to where you measure it for your wrist and your device. Remember, you don't want it to close on your wrist, meaning if you measure it and you cut it and it's like, yep, that fits my wrist perfectly, and then you put it on that way, it's going to stay together. You're not going to be able to make any more adjustments to it. You're going to have to cut it off or destroy your thing to get it off. What I recommend, or what I would want you to do, is I'm going to take my wrist here and I'm going to grab it from both ends. So one here, one here. And the only thing I'm going to do right now is I need this to come off. I'm going to find a spot where I can stick my fingers here. And then I'm going to try to ease it out. It might be easier for some of you because, again, you don't have big old man hands. But just hold it in place. You're going to mark it. I'm using tape to mark mine. So, mark. rip. And I'm just gonna, not tight, just enough. I'll make a little, just a little attachment right here. I'm not gonna even put it all the way down, because what I don't want to happen, and it's not gonna, it won't ruin it, but it just, you don't want it to fuse together. You kind of want it to pick up some of the fabric and just stick down so you'll know where you are as you're working on this. The inside of this is pretty much done. You might find a couple spots, like I'm looking here, and I'm seeing a little spot that's open. You might put a little tacky glue there. You can see that. I might put a little tacky glue right here. Might put it in between there. But all you want is just this thing to stick together for now. And now we can start making cuts as we need to and putting things in the right place. So starting here, this is a part that looks really crude. When you get, again, when you get a regular watch band, or if you ever buy a watch band from the store to replace one that you already had, they have these little things on the inside. This one has a couple of them, and they're almost the same color. But they have these little things, those little metal dots. Those are little hinges that are little pins that they put in between each link. And the reason they do that is because everybody's wrist is a different size. And so they give you a little tool, and they only put them in this area, and on the opposite side, they put it on that end. But the whole goal of it is you can take out, you know, a link for each side to match your wrist. Well, with this, we don't have that, but we can adjust it from the ends. But whatever you do to one end, we have to do it to the other one. We don't want to cut too much from one end and then have the other end looking kind of weird. So if I make a cut over here, I'm gonna make an equal size cut here, just until I get it to fit my wrist. So let's start doing that. Remember, I got my tape here. I said I wanted to lift it up easy. I have my marking spot, so I'll know how much or how far I need to cut. On the other end, or when I put it back together, I got the same thing. So from here to here.
Mr. Wilkerson, I'm sorry. I need to do a ping or something. Can you, if you don't mind going back a little bit, just to repeat, just to make sure everybody is good where they are.
Okay.
I mean, not, you don't have to go all the way back, but just to make sure that everyone is good. Because I can see that they're following along. I just don't want them to be lost. So if you can go right, is everybody good? Are y'all good? Y'all keeping up? Because I know some people are also taking notes.
Tell me where let's see, that's Drew. Drew, where do we need to go? Let's see, I see Drew.
Yeah, we got a couple of no's.
So what I'm gonna do, type in where, for both of you that said no, tell me exactly where you want me to go back to, or where we need to repeat, so I can make sure you got it. And I want to give you, I want to give you guys a big applause. This is video conferencing is not easy, but you guys are doing a good job. So what I'll do, I'm going to go back to the part where we measure this thing. If that helps, give me a thumbs up or say yes in the comments, and I'll know how far back, or how far forward we need to go to. Okay, good. So again, really quickly, Watch bands are adjusted for wrist size, but usually when you buy a watch band, it comes already too big for your wrist. So what you usually have to do is you have to remove links from your watch band in order to get it to fit your wrist. Well, in this case, we're going to do something kind of similar. We've already made the adjustments that we need to make this fit. So again, we're not going to fit it from here and then roll it around, because that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do. And you have a device, it fits now, but it's not coming off. You're gonna have to keep taking it off, and you're gonna have to keep readjusting it. Instead, you're gonna put your arm in the middle of your device, or the middle of your wristband, and you're gonna use your fingers. You're gonna have to stretch, but you're gonna use your fingers to pull it up from each end. That way there's a opening. So let's say there's a lot of room there. And what you're going to use, or what you're going to do, is you're going to take your tape to mark where it needs to cut. So I can let that drop. I can take one piece of my duct tape. I put it here so I don't lose it. Right there. Remember I said it needed to be open. And I'm gonna adjust it to where it's just tight enough. It shouldn't be too tight. If it's too tight, it's gonna hurt your arm. You want it just tight enough. So for me, that's right about here. You should have a tiny triangle that pops up as you do that. But right now it's just tight enough. It should be able to move around your hand. Not like this, because if it's going like that, it's too big. But if it's just tight enough to move around your hand for adjustments, that's perfect. So right where I have that, I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering here with my hands. You learn how to do things one-handed after a while. I'm just gonna put that tape at the very beginning of that. Does not have to be perfect. You just want it to stick. So right there, it sticks. I can open that up, close it. And now, when I close this back together, I know that this part and this part should connect. My wrist should fit in there when I'm done. And when I close it, my wrist should be able to fit in here and move around freely without issues. So I'll close that up. Everybody got that? Yes, a thumbs up.
Someone's holding theirs up. Hold yours up to your camera. I saw somebody's. Kaylee, look at that.
Let's see.
Hold up again, Kay. Let me get your picture. Good job. Hold on and
I
see.
like it.
Kaylee, you got yours?
I see two people. Y'all making me proud. I like
Hold on,
that.
Mr. Wilkerson, I'm trying to get pictures. Look at that. Anybody else? Yelia. Look at that. Good job. I was trying to see if I can see everybody. I can't. But somebody said, oops. Okay, good job, ladies.
Y'all are doing this thing. All right. Now, let's get rid of the crude parts. Because right now, that looks kind of horrible, but that's okay. We're going to do some cosmetics on. The very first thing we're going to do, going to take our nice scissors, and we're going to chop off, not where the tape begins. So you see that part where the tape is? It'd be really easy for me to just cut right there and say I'm done. We're still cutting from this, we're still cutting away from the tape. if you put your thumb at the beginning of the tape, or at that top line where the tape is, that will be the perfect place to start cutting. So again, not at the tape line, but right there. Maybe where your fingernail or the bed of your feet, your thumbnail, that's where your thumb should be. And then we're just gonna neatly, or as neatly as we can, cut. I got some powerful scissors here, so I'm being risky, and I'm gonna attempt to cut at a point to do this kind of perfectly, which it didn't work all the way, but that's okay. All right. So right there, it's still going to be kind of crude, but we're trying to get it somewhat even. So now, do another wrist check. If your wrist can't get through there, just remember you can lift up the duct tape that you have to mark your spot, and your arm should still fit in between. There's one end, there's the other. Stop, I'm not gonna put it there perfectly, but if your arm still fits, which mine does, that's fine, that's perfect. We want these two ends to be a little bit longer because we're gonna use this to connect it at the very end. So I'm gonna take that off. And now I'm gonna leave that there. Now we're gonna try to close these ends. So you got two ways of doing that. You really got, it's up to you how you decide to close it. For me, tacky glue hardens pretty quickly. And when it does, it creates a really cool, kind of a really cool, what am I trying to say? It creates like a base for everything else. So this tacky glue will act as a hard surface on this end and this end to keep this closed. If you want to be really intricate or really funny, you can attach a very strong magnet on this end and on this end. Close it. The magnet will just put together. It's going to be a little camera lag. There we go.
Can you use Velcro also?
You can use anything that will attach it. So Velcro, double-sided tape works because it doesn't stay on forever.
Mm-hmm.
The most secure thing to use, though, Velcro would be one of the most secure. But the magnet would also be a really good one.
Can you throw a zipper on it?
Can you put a zipper onto it? You can. That's up to you. I've seen some zipper wristbands to where they would leave two ends open, and then some type of way you'll put that on, and then it wouldn't zip all the way, but it would zip just enough to kind of make it attach to your wrist. But yeah, however you want to use this part to attach to your arm, or however you want to attach it to your arm and make this stick together, it works. I got some magnets I'm going to use on this later, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to make it as simple as possible. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tacky tape on the inside of this. So where it opens up, and it's kind of cool because you have this nice little opening right here. I take my tacky tape 1 drop, not a lot. Starting on the inside of this, I'm gonna do 1 drop on each end. So 1 here. And you really gotta look at it, and you gotta make sure it didn't close. And like I said, tacky glue dries quickly. So as you're using it, you're gonna have to clean the tip. That's good. So 1 drop. There we go. That's a little bit more than 1 drop, but I'm gonna take some of it and use it sparingly so I don't waste it and so it'll create a mess. So there we go. And some of it's gonna stick out, and that's okay. Because what I ended up doing is using too much. But once that sticks together, you do the same thing to the other end. And because I'm gonna be a little risky here, I'm just gonna put it on my hands. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm just gonna dab a little bit in there. And I'm gonna put some on the other side. And just like that. Some of it's gonna come out. That's good. And it washes off your hands really easy, so you don't have to worry about that. But once it's on the fabric, it's not gonna cause the fabric to come apart if it gets wet. Once it dries, it's dry. It soaks into the fabric. So there we go. I got a little bit more here. I can put it in the other areas. Remember, this is still layered, so you might have to do this a couple times. If you want to circumvent this and you don't want to use the tacky glue, and you got the duct tape, or you got your fabric, you can make a nice end piece here. But once that's done, we're gonna do another test. Again, you're constantly checking your wrist as you're doing this. You don't want it to become too small for your wrist. And at some point, you're gonna keep making adjustments so it'll fit. So now I feel pretty confident about this, but just for good measure, I'm taking my duct tape and I'm putting it on both ends. Just to close it up. There we go.
Mr. Wilkerson,
Yeah.
excuse me again. Can you sew the ends instead of using glue?
You can sew the ends. You could actually sew the whole thing. The only reason we're doing it this way is because number one, if you have access to a sewing machine, you can definitely sew them together, and it will look a whole lot better. But if you don't have access to a sewing machine or a needle and thread, this will work just fine. And with the right duct tape, you can get the duct tape that matches your material, and it works even better. Or if you got white material, you just decorate with the duct tape.
Don't they also have that those not different types of duct tape, but the duct tapes that have like different designs on them?
Yeah. So you can get that. They sell them in strips that are really thin sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really easy to take those strips and just make your decorations using with those different designs. So they have them with chevrons on them. They have them and chevrons are the V shapes or the A shapes. They look really cool. So you can get those. You can, I've seen space designs. They have Gucci duct tape. I've seen that. But you can essentially design this however you want using that duct tape, or like I said, if you know how to sew and you got access to a sewing machine, pull that out, and this makes it a whole lot easier. And also it kills a bunch of steps, so it makes your makes it work go a whole lot faster. So I just closed these ends. Just gonna chop those off. Once that's chopped off, we can go to the next step. So chop. So that's closed. I didn't use as much over here, but still do the same thing. Chop and chop. Now we're almost done. We almost got a whole wristband. Now, in order to fit some of the devices that we're trying to use, I could just sit it there and that's done. I could just leave that and then put some duct tape around it and I'm done. That's not fun for me, and I would feel some type of way. I still got plenty of fabric. So what I'm gonna do with the fabric is let's make some pockets. I like pockets. Other people like pockets. You like pockets. Let's make some pockets. So we're just gonna cut. Now this is probably gonna be, again, kind of crude on my end, but I think I got some designers and I got people who will pay some very close attention to detail with this. I'm just gonna cut a little bit of fabric. So I got a couple options. I can use my fabric here and I can craft this into a pocket. Or if I got duct tape and I want to create a design, there's a way to do that. I'm going to show you both. So the very first thing with our fabric, we don't have to thicken it up, but you do have these frayed ends when you cut it. And that's because fabric, well, when they put fabric in swatches or they put it in your clothes, when they stitch it, they always stitch really tightly in one direction or in a couple directions. So that's why whenever you cut some fabrics, one end might seem really crazy looking, but you'll have another end that seems like it'll just peel off, and it does. One end is just for the designs, and the other end is kind of for just to hold the fabric together. In order to fix this, there are a couple things you can do. One of them is semi-unsafe. If you do it, I want you to have an adult around you. I always keep kind of a mini torch with me.
Woo, that's fire.
Yeah. So if you
It looks
use
like a mini
this,
blowtorch.
it is. So
What's
if you use this option, have an adult. That's my biggest thing. Have an adult do it for you. Or if you don't have something like this, another really good solution is an iron. Most fabrics, if they're not cotton, when you attach them to an iron and you cover them up, these ends will start to shrivel up and melt off. And all you have to do is once they start to shrivel up and it's kind of warm, just pick them off. We're not gonna have time for any of that. So I'm just gonna do the old fashioned way. And I'm just gonna take my scissors and be really careful. Because I don't want this to happen again. Just gonna start cutting it. So cutting the ends very carefully. Now, if you mess it up, it'll be okay.
Is
You're-
that fabric, what you're doing now, is that that's not large enough for those who have the fidget spinners, right?
It's large enough. So if you're doing the fidget spinner, it will still, this size should still work, because the only thing you're trying to do is create a mini pocket for it. So if you have your Bluetooth fidget spinner, as long as you're able to fit one of the ears in, or one of the spokes of the fidget spinner into the holder, you're gonna be fine. So what I'm gonna show you guys, when I create this pocket, I'm gonna make one pocket, or I'm gonna make a sample pocket that's probably big enough to fit one of your fidget spinner spokes in. You're not gonna fit the whole thing in there. And with the cool thing about the Bluetooth fidget spinners, the only thing you're trying to do is you want the sound. You want to be able to hear the sound from your wrist, or to be able to play with your fidget spinner or pull it out from your wrist. With the other devices, as long as they're tight and in there and you're able to access it. Again, you're just trying to get to your stuff or have easy access to where your stuff may be.
Question, instead of using cloth, could they use elastic for the fidget spinner?
Elastic. So the only thing I'll say about elastic, elastic can be too tight. So instead of elastic, I would use a silicone base, something silicone based. So a lot of wristbands, especially the slap bands, they're made out of things, while they might be rubbery, a lot of times they're silicone, and that's because silicone stretches a lot easier, and it shapes a whole lot easier, and it snaps back. It doesn't cause a lot of pain. They still cause pain, but with elastic, as elastic gets older, it breaks. With silicone, as it gets older, it still keeps its shape. It still stretches. With elastic, as it gets older and you stretch it, you're gonna run the risk of breaking something. So please, if that's what you have, you can use it, but I always say silicone is better. Do I got any more questions? And yes, I do love duct tape a lot. Duct tape will be your best friend for life. And I learned that when I was about your age. Because of my bicycle. I fixed my bicycle inner, my uncle taught me how to fix my bicycle inner tube using duct tape. So it works.
They said that you love duct tape.
I do.
Called it.
It is one of my best friends. And I hope it becomes one of your best friends too. I see some faces. If I had you in the engineering class last summer, I used a lot of duct tape there too. So it's a very good friend. So the pockets, because I don't want to run out of time with you guys. So what we're gonna do, like I said, this is gonna be kind of crude. That's okay. If you have time later, you can go back and fix it, but the pocket is simple. All you're doing, your inside is going to be the part that's going to have all the oddness and the ugliness, and that's what you're not showing that to everybody. Mine is going to be more crude than some of yours, but this is the part that you're showcasing. If you're using a certain type of fabric and it has patterns, you might want to match up the patterns as best as you can. If you're using anything else, all you're trying to do is just have some type of pocket for this. I'm just going to do it across, just like that. And I'm not gonna make it tight. I'm gonna make it just enough, or make it fit just enough to put it on there just enough so it'll fit whatever I'm putting in there. And like I said, I got all these different devices. I might have a day to where I don't want to use this, and I might want to put my fidget spinner in here. Or I might have a day to where I'm going to the gym and I want my earpods on my arm. So when I get to the gym, all I got to do is pop them off and put them in my ears. What I'm about to do here, I took my little piece of fabric, and again, we folded it, or we folded over. I put my wristband, or the middle of my wristband, in the middle of it. I'm not gonna glue the middle of this thing. I don't want this part to stick to it. It needs to be open. But what I will do is start on the sides. So remember, 1 drop, not a lot. And if you really want to be fancy, you just hold it there, just like we've been doing. You can make sure it's exactly 1 dot, but remember, your hands are going to stick to it. Just like that, it's attached. And the cool thing is, it's attaching all over. So the glue is going to bleed through the fabric to the other end. So now I can pull that off and do the exact same thing to the other side. Let's see here. One drop. That might be a little more than 1 drop, so I'm gonna try to spread it down. Good. Now, put that on there. Hold it. Sometimes I press down on it extra hard just to make sure it doesn't lift up, but as you see, it's not coming apart. I can shake it from the middle. I don't want to do that, but I can, and it will stick. Now, right here, in between that, I do the same thing, just 1 more. But remember, I want this to dry before I get ready to put it on the other part of this. So 1 drop, not a lot. It doesn't have to be intricate. You can hum a 20-second song. For me, I always do the theme of my favorite TV show, and by the time I'm done, it's sticking. Just like that. Stuck to my hand. That comes right off. You'll be able to feel it through the fabric. And now, remember I got this little piece to tell me this is the middle of my device, or the middle of my wristband. I put that here. And then I'm gonna glue it again on both ends. So I can glue it to here, but it would be easier to do it from the sides. So right outside of the tape. So we're gonna do that here, fold that over. And the reason I say outside of the tape is because if I try to glue it to the duct tape, it's gonna have a hard time sticking on. So I'll probably do it from this end and that end. And then now, press down and press down, hold it 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3. So once we do that, pick it up, done. That wasn't quite 20 seconds, but it'll still work. And then I want to leave this a little loose. And I'm going to do it to the other side. And what might also help, have your device that you want to attach to this tucked in. That way, you stick it to this. You know how much you need to use. or how much fabric and how much you need to stretch. So I'm just stretching this right over the top of this. And again, fabric glue. 1, 2. And what you'll notice as you keep using this fabric glue, you'll notice it automatically starts to soak into the fabric. So it's very absorbent for a glue, which is really cool. But it can be kind of messy sometimes. But as long as it's still wet, you should be okay. So I'm holding it in place, 20 seconds. You don't have to leave the device in there. If it's a durable device, meaning it's pretty long lasting, it can take getting beat up a little bit, you can leave it in there as a guide, but just pull your device out. And just like that, you're done. You got your pocket. You can make as many of these pockets as you want. So I have this thing, I love Batman a lot. So if you really want to be fun, if you want to be cool and funny with this, you can make lots of tiny pockets. So you can have.
Oh, look at Kaylee. Kaylee's holding hers up.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to, Kaylee, that looks good.
Good job.
Who else wants to show theirs?
I'm trying to.
Let's see, I'm gonna put it in gallery view so I can see all your cameras. Oh, I see your pocket.
Good. Okay, so she's holding up one,
With her
Beretta's
fingers
daughter. What is your name? Beretta's daughter. Leah? You're not Leah. I can't unmute yourself. There you go. You said what?
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Caitlin's
that looks.
pink. It has pink with leopard, and she has her fidget spin. Is that the Bluetooth one?
Yes.
I love it. Is that's your duct tape on the end? Your leopard duct tape?
Hold it up again, Caitlin, so I can get your picture.
It's zebra duct tape.
Zebra duct tape.
Wow,
I love
nice.
Yours looks better than mine. I'm jealous. I want to buy yours now. I love it. Who else has one they want to show off?
Rhea, you have one? Oh, she said no. I just see the hand. Oh, you clapping.
You guys.
Let's see who
really,
else has
I
one.
see. I see somebody.
Oh, look at Cambria. Cambria is using her sewing machine.
Oh, she's going all out. Y'all
Get it, Cambria.
are making me proud. I love this. So with that, if you were, like I said, you can make these pockets. They don't have to be open. I'm leaving this one open because I might want to use my Vex remote. And so I'll put that in there. And now I got a place for my Vex. And I can wrap it around my wrist. The last thing I'm going to do to this, again, I said I have to attach it to my wrist. So I'm not using duct tape for this. What I might do, and I'm going to leave this part up to you. You can use, if you have like old jeans and the jeans snap, you can use snap buttons and snap it together, just like that. If you have magnets, I have these these magnets called Neo, they're called, rare earth magnets, or neodymium, or neodymium. That name always confuses me. But rare earth magnets are the strongest magnets you can get. And you can get a lot of them. They'd be really small, but you can get a lot of them for $6 on Amazon. And with the rare earth magnets, a lot of times they stick them into clothes or they stick them into name tags, but you can attach it to this and it'll snap every time.
Someone says what kind of magnets?
So they're called rare earth magnets. And give me a second, I actually got some. I gotta go get them.
Do you also have a Bluetooth fidget spinner?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Because the last time I used my rare earth magnets, I made some ferrofluid. So that's my ferrofluid with the magnets.
You made
Rare
some
earth
what?
ferrofluid or magnetic
What's that?
fluid. So it's this oil-based fluid that people use in aircrafts and spacecrafts to keep, to kind of counteract the effects of zero gravity. And what it does, instead of flowing normally, it flows through, well, it attaches to things magnetically. So if it's in a fuel tank, it will attach to that fuel tank, or it'll flow through that fuel tank using magnets or using magnetism. But these are rare earth magnets. I'm going to put them in front of the camera so you can see them. Hopefully my phone doesn't go out. These are big
Pull
ones.
back a little bit. Pull back a little bit. Okay.
So I have about 5 of them here. I bought this stack of, there was a stack of 6. I got this for $9 on Amazon. So take a look. They're super strong, and I'm trying to take them apart. I'm struggling to take them apart because they are extremely strong magnets. They're super light though, they're not heavy. They're just strong magnets. And if I really wanted to do this and be cool about it, really quickly, since we got a little time, and this might not probably work fine, or it's gonna stick to my wrist and I'm gonna have a hard time taking it apart. So I'm gonna start here. Put one rare earth magnet here. Remember I said I could put it on the inside, but since I didn't do that in the beginning, I'm just gonna attach it to the outside. Just to kind of show you an example. And the reason I'm brushing my hands off is because I had some magnetic filings on them before. And
I wanted to know if did you use the iron-on tape for anything?
I use the iron-on tape for just a substitute for the duct tape, and it works a whole lot better than duct tape. I kind of rushed through with this one, so I didn't get a chance to put it on there. But anywhere I put duct tape on here, you can use the iron-on tape to put on there, and it won't look like Frankenstein made it. So yeah, the iron-on tape, wherever the duct tape is in mine, that's where you use your iron-on tape. And yes, you can use that Velcro, will work very good or very well.
Question, I promise you, I got to understand the purpose of these Bluetooth fidget spinners. So I don't know if you're gonna get to that part or not, but what is the whole point of a Bluetooth fidget spinner?
It's just the Bluetooth fidget spinner. The biggest thing we wanted was that Bluetooth. And the whole purpose of just having the fidget spinner and the Bluetooth, it's just something easy, it's something you can listen to your music to while you're doing other things. Because the cool thing about those fidget spinners, as you're playing with them, they're playing music. The other thing is they're the cheapest Bluetooths you can buy. So if you were to buy a Bluetooth device with a speaker by itself, it would be a lot bigger than that fidget spinner, and it would cost a lot more. About the cheapest ones I've seen have been like $25 and up, and they come in a big box with a bunch of other things. And you have to use Arduino to put them together. This is like the cheapest, quickest way to have a Bluetooth and a speaker without having to program it to work. All the work's been done for you, and they sell them in bulk, super cheap. So it saves you some time, it saves you some money, and if you really want to get rid of the fidget spinner part of it, all you got to do is pop it open, and you got everything you need right there in your hand.
The reason why I asked is because I know that you asked that for for the parents to purchase the Bluetooth fidget spinners. And there were quite a few of the girls that did purchase that. So I wanted to make sure that you touched on,
Right.
yeah, what it's supposed to do, what it's gonna look like, so they don't feel like, well, I purchased this for nothing.
No, you got those things for a reason. So if you were able to get them, and the reason I kind of spread this out is because I wanted to make sure that if you weren't able to get that device, which I originally wanted to use, you could use other things. So I kind of modified this for other devices.
Okay.
But if you got that Bluetooth and you made your pocket, you got a portable speaker now that you can use anywhere. And the other cool thing about it is you can charge it. So it's easy. You can use any USB connection to charge those things. But you always got this thing that you can wear on your wrist versus having to carry your giant Bluetooth speaker with you everywhere. You got one you can wear now. And if you really want to be intricate, you can take it apart, but leave it together and attach it to your armband, and it will work. And Naomi had a question, is it okay to make your pocket closed on one end? Yeah, that's up to you. And it's like I said earlier, if you want more than one pocket, I'm just putting one here. But if you want more than one pocket, you can do more than one pocket. But it's all about what works best for you. So it looks, I see some cool ones here. I'm looking around.
I see Caitlin's, look, that's cute. It almost looks like a butterfly.
Mm-hmm. And see her, and I like how is the way it's built. It's built for the original purpose for the Bluetooth. It's built just for those pockets are perfect, just to fit those little arms in.
Look at Cambria's. Am I pronouncing it correctly, Cambria? Is it Cambria or Cambria? Or is it Cambria? The second Cambria? Okay, Cambria. That's cute. She has
like it.
material. Look at that. That's nice. Wait, let me see if I can get a picture of it. Hold on.
I'm seeing some good devices here.
Hey, Michaela, look at yours. Cute.
I love it. Michaela, I'm looking at yours now.
Uh-oh, wait, somebody else I just saw, they put it up to the camera. Zanaya, is that you? Do you have one? Okay. I thought I saw yours. Leah, I can't see you. I see your ceiling or your wall.
But just to show you how this one works,
Hey, Leah.
before you end, check that out. If you put it on the right end, it snaps together. But and it also repels if you put it on the wrong end, which lets you know magnets have a north and a south, and if you attach it wrong, you're gonna have this going on, and it's gonna make it snap the other way. So just double check your magnets as you're putting them on. And again, I'm gonna flip this one around just a little bit. But that's it.
Now, please explain again what they created, Mr. Wilkerson.
So you guys have wrist-mounted pockets that can be used for any Bluetooth devices. My favorite one, like I said, is for fidget spinner speakers. And so you can have a wrist-mounted speaker, but they can be used for anything. Any devices that you use can fit in your pocket.
It's gonna fall out though?
Well, it depends. So if you create one that's open, you have to adjust it to make sure it doesn't fall. You can close it. You can create multiple pockets to stop that from happening, or you can create a stopper, and that stopper will also stop it from things from falling out. But that part, like this is one of my smaller USBs, but from a bigger USB device, it will work perfectly. All you have to do is, again, make sure, and check that out, it fits, even though I got my magnets on the wrong way.
Pull you back to the camera. Can't I see your arm, but not your, okay. Nope,
So,
there you go.
yeah. So, like I said, it fits. I fit it for this device. That fits in there snug. So remember, when you're measuring this, make sure you're measuring for the device that you really want to use it for. Each pocket should be created for whatever, it should be created for the device that you're going to primarily use it for. But if you use other devices, just adjust your pockets. That's it.
Nice.
So
Good job, ladies. Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. And
Thank
good job for you guys following along
Thank
and
you.
doing all this. I
I'm
will see you
gonna
next
stop
time,
the
okay?
recording. Hold on, Mr. Wilkerson. Let me stop the recording. Okay, yes.